Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Today, I'm going to be talking about invoicing and receipting on Bitcoin because I think we should be able to send each other invoices in Bitcoin and then use Bitcoin to pay the invoices that we receive from others for things that we bought or services that were performed. And then we should be able to get a receipt when the payment is made, when they acknowledge the payment, right? So Alice sends an invoice to Bob, and then Bob pays the invoice, and then Alice accepts the payment and issues a receipt, and and Bob gets the receipt. We could download all these as PDFs. We can build a fun app using the MetaNet technology stack that will enable this kind of use case on top of an open and vendor neutral wallet implementation that we would call BRC 100. The BRC 100 standard is the open, vendor neutral, interoperable, global, and unchanging foundation for the future of apps and the future of wallets and how those two things work together, so that any wallet can work with any app, including this new app, which we're going to build today for invoicing and receipting on Bitcoin. And I think it's receipting, if that's the correct grammatical term. Let's put up the screen and start building some stuff. But first, if you want to go to the hackathon, it's coming up in Medford, Oregon on October 10th and the 11th, 2025, then you should go to bsvhackathon.com and you should sign up and you should watch this beautiful eagle as it goes across the screen. Let me put up, oh yeah, we have the screen up, cool. All right, yeah, so we got this website. Once again, if you want to go to the BSV Hackathon, you should go to bsvhackathon.com. If you have questions about any of the stuff we are going to be talking about in this live stream, you should go to bitgenius.net, make yourself an account, and ask an AI. If you want to join the BSV chat so you can talk to real humans and get real answers to your questions from actual people who are not Bitcoin genius AIs, well, then you should join the BSV chat. And to join the BSV chat, you can go to join.bsv.chat. And this will open up our Slack group so that you can get started and join the BSV chat. And yeah, it'd be really cool if you did. Love to see you there. Anyways, I'm going to be opening a new tab if I can. Open a new window. All right, good. Now we have Google back. Now we have Chrome back. But we need to make a BSV app. How do you create a BSV app? If you want to create a BSV app, open your terminal and go to npx create BSV app. I think this works. Aw, man. Get registry npm.js. Did I forget how to do this? Guys, am I losing my... No. npx BSV app. Yeah. So if you want to create a BSV app, you just npx at bsv/app in your terminal. Let's try that again with a new terminal so it looks right. See, it's super simple. All you have to do is remember the right command. Do as I say, not as I do. npx at bsv/app. You should go to your projects directory first, and that you don't just put this, not passwords, projects, right? You need to get rid of passwords. That's what the metanet is for. npx at bsv/app, enter, and then you can create a BSV app, such as one that you can use for invoicing and receipting. But we're going to start with something simple, and then we're going to modify the code so that it will work for our use case. The to-do list is where we will be starting. So it wants to know new name for the project. Let's just call this BSV invoices, because I want to make BSV invoices when I want to charge people BSV for things that we do. Enter the author name. Ty Everett, I guess. And then we have to go and make this CDBSV invoices. And then I'm going to open Visual Studio Code. All right, now we have our Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to exit out of the terminal. And then when I make this new tab, when I say npm run, CD front end, because this is a cars project under BRC 102. npm I, npm run, start, command click. If this opens in, okay, I'm glad it didn't open in StreamYard. That would be really annoying. Okay, all right, here we are. It says open the MetaNet client. This is using an old version of the MetaNet React prompt. This is not good. npm I BSV SDK latest BSV, or no, MetaNet React prompt latest. Go use the latest one. If you always, we make updates to things sometimes, believe it or not. And when we do, it makes things better. So now we can see that yesterday Chance updated the React prompt, and now it will actually tell you the right place to go if you want to download the MetaNet. Because if you don't know how to get started making apps, if you don't know how to get started using apps, if you want to get on the MetaNet, well, then you can go to getmetanet.com and you can get on the MetaNet. And then if you want to use MetaNet apps, you can go to metanetapps.com and you can check out the future of apps and the future of the internet. And we'll put our app on here too, because you can actually add, if you make a MetaNet app and you want to share it with the entire world, you can go to the developer dashboard tab and you can even tell the whole world about your new MetaNet app. But I just upgraded that, and now let me just open the MetaNet desktop. So I downloaded this MetaNet desktop on my computer. Here I am now. I am using this BSV app template for the to-do list to get started here with having some invoices. But my mind requires a scratch pad, otherwise we will lose our thoughts about what we are doing. We need to make an invoice app, and that means there needs to be the concept of invoices, and then there needs to be a receipt that is issued. So an invoice needs to be a UTXO, right? Invoices have, well, let's just say invoices are encrypted from the sender from the payer. No, I'm not the payer. I'm the payee. The payee, the person to receive payment, is the person who makes the invoice. From the payee to the payer. Payer is the one who sends. So, and then we know that the invoice will be private because it doesn't need to be for the whole entire world to see what is this invoice that I want to send somebody and what did I buy from them. Instead, it just needs to be the two people involved. You can have an invoice and then you can pay the invoice and then you get a receipt. So, how does this work? Well, let's think about it. An invoice, what does it have? An invoice has um, payee name contact info, payer name contact info, line items, taxes, and a total, right? Those are the things in an invoice. I don't know if there's anything else. Post it in chat. We should build this together, guys. If you have ideas about how to make the system improved or want to add things, just tell me and we'll see if we can do it. And maybe an invoice has like a custom logo for, you know, brand color. And that way you can like say, this invoice is from Acme Corporation, you know, whatever random placeholder corporation, and it goes to somebody else. Let's see. So we create an invoice, right? Create an invoice. And by the way, this project, we're going to be making this code available for the entire world to use. And we want to see mobile use cases that you can do on your phone at our upcoming hackathon. So if you want to copy the code that we're going to build today and use it as a starting place for a hackathon project submission, you are certainly welcome to do that. I would recommend, I'm going to be building on desktop for the initial one, but just take this and write some media queries, make some CSS things better, add some, QR code stuff so that it works better on phones. So whoever makes the best user experience for, their thing that works on mobile phones at the BSV hackathon, it'd be really cool. All right, steps. You create an invoice, send invoice to here, receive invoices, review, pay, receive payment notification, and then you get issued, or let's see, accept payment and issue receipt. And then you can download your invoice as a PDF, whether it's paid or unpaid, and you can also download your receipt as a PDF. And that way we can invoice each other for some things that we want to make. So let's see how easy this is to build with the new tools that we have here. And you guys are going to have to forgive me because I am going to use a little bit of AI. And I also don't know, I used to know React really well. I am forgetting some front-end styling things because I haven't done it as much recently. And that makes me really sad. I want to write more code and do more of these kinds of apps and projects. And I think we're going to in the future. But let's get started here by modifying our front end. We're going to need a message box client so that we can send invoices and receipts back and forth between two parties. And I think we're also going to need the identity React, and then possibly UHRP React for logo. Okay, so this is basically going to give us the ability to add multimedia, identity, and messaging between parties to our actual application. Let's get started. Front end, and we have this app. And what am I going to do? I'm going to delete probably the entire app except for, why is this stuff imported in here? This is like very Wait, is that are we doing that twice? We have index.tsx, and we're importing the same thing twice. Guys, the to-do list app, we need to, whoever on the teams watching these live streams is going to maintain the to-do list app. We have to upgrade the latest CSSDK. We have to upgrade the latest React MetaNet React prompt, and we have to not import the style sheet twice of the toast container. I'm just saying, right? Like, it would be nice to make the UX of these things better so that everything can work properly. All right, we have the toast container in the top level. That means we don't need to do this in app.tsx. I'm going to delete all these comments because I'm not going to read them all. And probably they're, I don't know. I want to do my own thing. Okay, don't need toast container. Why is it 2 toast containers? We do need toast because we're I don't know. I think, okay, we need app bar. Do we? I guess we need some of that stuff, but add icon, we'll update the GitHub icon, use async effect. Sure. Okay, fine, right. But like, we don't need this because it's not. Yeah, right. Okay. To do proto ADR. Okay. This is, I'm just going to simplify some of these if I can. App bar placeholder. Okay. That's cool. But I'm going to delete some of these. Here we go. Wallet client, new wallet client. Great. We just have that at the top, singleton. Okay. So is MetaNet desktop missing? All right. All right. We got some stateful things. Create open, create text, create amount. These are all like stateful for that particular application that we're going to modify. Run a 1-second interval to see if the MetaNet desktop is opening. Okay. And it's going to clear it, I hope. I guess it does clear it. Fine. Okay. You are clear. You're okay. All right. I guess we need that. Handle submission, new to-do task. Okay, so now we're into business logic. Goodbye, business. Oh wait, we probably want some of these things. Do we? Maybe we can keep some of this stuff. Let's think. The simplest thing we want is a create. So let's just repurpose some of this. Very simply, we'll start with having there's a few things that we don't need. That we need to kind of rebuild later. And there's a few things I'm going to try to repurpose from this to-do list. So this is going to be handle creation of a new invoice. Encrypts the invoice content and creates a push drop token locked for the recipient, the payee, right? The payer. Okay, so payee is self. The invoice has a title, right? Create title. Create payer, set payer. So you got who's gonna be the payer? Who's gonna pay your invoice when you create it? We're gonna have line items. Each has a description, a quantity, and a price. Right. So is it a type? Yeah. Type line item. So each array of line. Can you do that? Oh. Okay. So we got our line items, our payee, and we'll do it simply first, right? Let's do our React first. All right, so there's like some business logic we're going to keep, some that we're not. This is going to be handle, create, submit. Default, prevent, sure. There's no amount. So none of these rules apply. Start a loading bar. Okay. Let's make sure the payee was provided as well. So, a payer rather. Select. Okay. So we're loading. Encrypted task is await wallet client dot encrypt dot ciphertext. So, okay, we can take these input from the. All right, we need to simplify a little bit here. JSON object. Let's just say payer. All right. No value exists in scope for the shorthand property payer. I thought I had create payer. Oh, I see. Payer, create payer. Title of the invoice. You got a payer of the invoice. And you got line items. So we basically just encrypt. Okay, let's review this. So this says we can take the user's input from the text fields, their new invoice, and encrypt it with a key that only they and the payer have. When we put the encrypted value into a token, into a Bitcoin token, only the same user can get it. Only into only the two parties involved can get it back. All right. The plain text for encryption is what the user put into the text fields, multiple. Encrypt expects an array of numbers. Create number array from string. JSON stringified invoice object for encryption. Protocol and key ID are important. When users encrypt things, they do so in different contexts. The protocol ID is the context in which a user has encrypted something. When your app uses a new protocol, it can only do so with the permission of the user. Protocol ID, invoice protocol ID. I guess we should declare that constant up here. The key ID can be used to enable multiple keys for different operations within the same protocol. We'll need to use the exact same protocol ID and key ID later. We want to decrypt the invoice. Otherwise, the decryption would fail. Now, do we want to tokenize an invoice on chain, or do we want to send the user a message that contains the invoice? Because I think the transaction can include the hash of the invoice, but I don't think we need a token of the invoice on chain. I think that can just use the message box. Not everything has to be on chain, you know? We don't have to put everything on chain. Let me see if that's consistent with my blueprint. So we have, no. Invoice is not a UTXO. Invoice is a message sent from one peer to the other. That's what an invoice is. Create an invoice, send invoice to peer, right? See, it's not a token. I knew this, guys, but it's just, we have to think. Okay, receive invoice, review, pay, receive. Right, we make reference to the hash of the invoice in the payment transaction. And that way we know, we know how the payment can link back. We can prove it later if we absolutely have to, in case of any disputes. Receive payment notification, accept payment, and issue receipt. So the invoice is paid on chain, and then, yeah, I can accept the, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, all right. Let's think here. So to create an invoice, we first encrypt the invoice for the person involved. We need to bring back the protocol ID, key ID. I'm going to not use keys twice. How about the key ID is the hash of the invoice? No, that's going to be the derivation. Let me think here. The derivation prefix. Oh, I just realized something as well. The invoice has a date, doesn't it? Yeah. Just thinking ahead here a little bit as I'm building this. So we got plain text. Uh, the counterparty is going to be the payer. And we need to randomly generate a key ID. And import random from TSSK, randomly generate key ID. So protocol ID is security level 2 because it depends on which, no. Security level 1 is the invoicing protocol because you don't care which counterparty, you can review the invoice. I put basic invoicing because I think there's going to be other invoicing protocols, and we'll register these protocols later with docs and everything using the protocol registries. But oh, it doesn't like to type, so I need to say as one. Silly TypeScript. Now it's like, oh, number is, wait, what? Oh, it thinks. No, it has to be another. So there's this type errors with as one string. Now it should be fine. Right, so the protocol ID yells at you until you make your types right. Okay, so now we have an encrypted invoice. Let's just, we don't need to create a Bitcoin token. We need to send the message to the peer. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to console log. It's going to say created an encrypted invoice. And sent to the payer. Okay. Okay. And I'm not going to do complete submit. We don't need that yet. We'll do that later. We're going to get to a working state, right? The goal is how can we get this app to be in a working state first, and then we'll make it work. So once we get it to a working state, we'll be able to iterate. Okay, toast container. I think we have. Wait, no. We don't need a toast. We already have a toast container in the root. Yeah. Okay. BSV invoice app. Very good. And we'll call this BSV invoice on GitHub. Okay. Let's see. What is the app going to look like? So we need an option to create an invoice. I'm just going to leave this. Oh, if it's more than one, it's. I see. I'm just going to leave on the bottom right all the time the create invoice button rather than conditioning it. And then I'm not going to load a list of invoices yet because that doesn't make any sense. Oh, wait. Is there a loading that I can keep? Tasks loading. Nah, I'm good. Dialogues. All right. This goes tab back because it's that way now. And create open. Okay. Wait. Why in the world? We're already preventing defaulting here. See? E.prevent default right there on line 84. Well, then if I go down here to the bottom, we have cobwebs in our code, everybody. And if we have cobwebs in our code, you know what that means? It means you will have cobwebs in your mind. And that is not a good thing. So we have to fix that. And there, right. Handle submit. Handle complete. Handle create submit. Oh wait, is this complete? Oh, this is complete. Okay, this whole dialog has to go away. Where's the other dialog? For creating? Yeah. Oh. Oh wait, this one. Okay, this one goes away. Sorry about that. Up here, we have the create one. So this is our list. We have our button that opens the dialog, and then here's our dialog. And I saw this, and I was like, wait, why do we need this? Because handle create submit. It looks so similar. I just got it mixed up here. But we don't need that. We just need this. All right. We got a form, which when submitted will do those things. Then we got a create new invoice. And we're going to say describe or give your invoice a title. Invoice title, and that's already wired up to set create title. This was much simpler back in the day. We would use just JavaScript. You wouldn't have all these types like this. This was just much shorter. I understand the need for it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just interesting. Okay, loading, or we're okay and cancel, and that's fine. All right, let's just see if I can get this code to run. I've probably been looking at the same error down here for a long time. Can I restart this and get out of that, or do I have to actually? Oh, okay. And then it says what specifically? Description, oh, type. What does it say? Equals. See, interface doesn't have equals. Type does? I don't know. That's funny. Okay. Wait, I updated it, didn't I? Yeah. Type list item equals. Or line item. Now I reload this page. No error? Okay, go to Google Chrome. All right. Now we are looking at BSV Invoice app. And on the bottom right, we have a plus button. And if I go and look at the MetaNet desktop, here we are. I can say plus, create new invoice. Oh, it's a multi-line text field for the title. We got to fix that. I can't have a multi-line. Rows equals 3. Full width. Autofocus. Okay, autofocus is cool. All right. Save. Try again. All right, that's better. Okay. My title of my invoice is potato cannon. And oh, of course. Okay, now we need to integrate the actual search field for who's going to be paying this. Who will pay for my potato cannon? And let me see. Text field. We need to do the thing that people do inside of PeerPay. So I'm going to go to Braden's code. And I'm going to find how he did the little thing where you go on peerpay.babbage.systems and you can search for, ooh, I have money from people. Who sent me? Braden sent me money 3 times. 4,000. Yay. See, this is why I like PeerPay, guys. You just open it and then people send you money. And then you can send them money. I hear a sound effect on the live stream. I was gonna say I want to copy this little search field thing, and so I want to find the code for it. I can go to the live stream and check what's going on with the chat and everything. So let me tab back over to that. All right, let's see. We got good to see info create. How do we create a hash chain of the transaction using XOR against the key? We will do that some other time. It sounds interesting and fun to talk about in the future. However, once we get the invoicing stuff done, then we can think about how to make fun hash chains, which are useful inside of applications like Provably Fair, gaming, and things like that. But let's see. Okay, we were going to go back and I was going to look at the code for PeerPay, and I was going to find the little search box so that we can have a way to find who an identity is. Identity somewhere. Okay. I'm looking for simple peer-to-peer payments, and then there's a payment list. Oh, there's a payment list. Where's the top? Simple peer-to-peer payments. Payment form. Oh, yes, of course. Okay, so I have to go to the components and find the payment form, which has the search box, hopefully. Okay, so I want to find that little select contact, button, scan QR. Oh, wait. Did he actually just identity search field? Aha, I found it. That's all I need. On identity selected and app name. Cool. So we're going to put an identity search field. See, that's the missing keyword that I was. See, it's right there from BSV identity React. And the app name is invoice app. Handle identity selected. Now we're going to say, how about like you give me the thing that I can say set create payer to whatever X dot identity key is. Yay. Save. Will you work? Maybe it will work. Refresh. Potato cannon, and I want to search for Braden. And there's Braden. So then if I hit OK, what it should do is it should encrypt. And you can see it right here. This is the encrypted invoice. It worked. I have encrypted my invoice for Braden. But there is more to be done, of course. We need to do a lot of things. We need to have line items in the invoice. So I'm going to commit this. I need to make sure I have a repository that people can even use. Git remote -v. Oh, get init dot get remote add origin get at github.com. BSV invoice. Okay, and then I'm going to go on GitHub and make a new app. How many repositories are we up to? I guess including public and private repositories, we're up to 364. Well, there's 365 days in a year, and now we're going to have one repository for every single day. Assuming there's not one already called BSV invoice, that would be funny. App for doing stuff with invoices that people pay in BSV. And this is going to be a okay. Visibility is public. No template, no README. The license is going to be OpenBSV license. Let me OpenBSV license. Okay, just making sure. Just making sure, everybody. All right. Silly people. Oh, well, all right, let's see. Let me do a little README here, and then I'm going to use AI to add the little UI for the adding line items to the invoice. And then we'll go back and we'll do message box to send the message containing the invoice to the person who we have sent it to. And, you know, and we can go from there. Okay, so this is BSV invoice app. Create and pay invoices with BSV. A deployment of the master batch of this repository can be found at fun invoices.metanet.app. If you want to have fun with invoices with a MetaNet app, then you can go to fun-invoices.metanet.app. Overview. We'll do this later. Right? I mean, BRC 102. This is a BRC 102 structured project. Read the spec for details. BRC 102. BRC 102. That's always terrible when that happens. GitHub.com BSV blockchain. No, Bitcoin dash SV/BRCs. And then we go to number 102. And we get the link and we copy it. And we go in here. We say, you are a BRC 102 structured project. Someone can read this specification if they want to know how to structure their project with a front-end folder, back-end folder for overlay services, etc., etc. You should know that if you're going to be at the hackathon, build apps. It's not like, why is there 2 Vite configs in here? What? Okay. Why is there an index.html file outside the front-end directory? This is not necessary. Package.json, is there extra dependencies in here that we don't need? Okay, cars and Lars, and then Vite and Sass and V. No. It'll be fine. Everything will be okay. That is what they tell me. I don't know who they is, but it's fine. Okay. That is here. All these commands are going to be useful later. But I just wanted to clean everything up because there's some random stuff in the to-do list app, apparently, that just doesn't need to be here. I wanted to set Git up. I'm going to push everything in a second. But and then I'll use AI to add the thing. Let me change this because I know that there's going to be something in here. It's like to-do list app, let's see, title. Here it is. BSV fun BSV invoice FBI. Oh wait, no. Fun BSV invoice app. Create and pay BSV. No, invoices with BSV. Okay, I just wanted to change these things. If you don't take the time to do this at the very beginning, then when you deploy your app, it's gonna be like 4 months later, and you're gonna be on your phone at 10 p.m. looking at the little preview of the app when you try to link to somebody as you're laying in your bed, and you're gonna look at the little preview thing, and it's gonna say, to-do list, get rewarded. And it's like, no, this is wrong. And then you're gonna get up out of your bed at 10 p.m. and go over to your computer and change it. And the moral of the story is, if you are editing an app and you see these things that you're gonna want to change later when you are building your app, you should do it now, because otherwise you will probably forget. And then it will haunt you at an inconvenient time. And there will be nothing that you'll be able to do to escape from that. That scared me so hard. Those sound effects. So anyways, we need to focus. Let's see. I will delete these types because they're not necessary. And let's see. App styling, just making sure all this stuff is going to be clean. Hopefully, I'll do a find for to-do list in a second. This looks to be our code. Index looks hopefully pretty clean. Yeah, we saw the toast container before, so we know that we didn't need 2. just dark appearance from MUI. That's cool. Going through these files pretty quickly just to make sure everything isn't completely crazy. We just sweep our dependencies to make sure that we're not still depending on unwriter tools. Oh wait, no, that was like a long time ago. Types. And looks to be pretty much good. All right, just making sure the house is clean before we open it up for the whole world. We don't have a logo yet, but we don't need one. We'll get one soon. Oh, yes, of course. Show yourself. All of the places we have to fix. All right, that's good now. We should add group permissions in here. There needs to be an easier way to have an AI tool that can scan your whole repository, and then it can create group permissions schemes and update the manifest using AI, just like to make this a better thing for developers. It would be super cool if someone built a group permissions auto adder for our code. Initial commit, searching one final time, to do. Oh, it's giving me the name front end. Oh, to do TS. Oh, I see. It's gonna be called. Why is there another README in here? You already read the README in the first one. This README can go away. All right. Okay. So here we go. Save and initial commit and use that, and then git push set upstream origin. And then if I refresh, this should be here now. Boom! Repository is public. Now you guys can follow along, and so can the AI. Let's close this. And let me drop this link in our chat here. If I can manage that. And you can check out some of the code. So how do you make an invoicing application on BSV? Well, now we have commits. So if I just go and copy some of this code, and then I say, on ChatGPT, give me, give me a full, or let's see, we need to. By the end, created invoices should support line items. All right, and then we can look at the diff when the AI does its thing. And that way we can, That way we can copy and paste all of the code and see what it looks like. Here we go. The AI is crazy. Here's a full drop-in replacement that adds proper line item support, add, remove, edit description, quantity, price, live totals, validation, preserves encryption flow. Created invoices now include line items as entered. I'll believe it when I see it, ChatGPT, but I think I'm about to see it. So we'll see if it works. With GPT-5 and everything nowadays, it's kind of crazy. It usually does work. I mean, the AI, I always go on here to see latest AI. Who is the best? Is Google Gemini, and it has been the best for months. And then Claude, and then O3, and then GPT 4. And GPT 5 is down there at like pretty low compared to the other ones. Anyways, let's see if this is getting close to being done. Still, it's kind of slow. We should, I'm surprised that it's that slow. I thought I paid them like for the GPT Pro or whatever, and it still takes a long time. I don't know. When we use the API for like BitGenius, and you can go on BitGenius if you want to use AI to get your Bitcoin questions answered. For example, I was able to ask about BRC 100 and why it is useful, and the AI provides a very insightful answer to this type of thing. So you can read about the utility and benefits of things like BRC 100 using this AI. But this one, it's usually pretty fast. The number of tokens per second on ChatGPT, I think, is throttled depending on the number of users. Okay, it looks to be done. Let me copy and paste this into the code editor, and then look at the diff, and that way I can review the code. Okay, well, why did you insert a blank line? I don't know why. I don't know why the AI. Oh, I see. This is create invoice. So updated UX. All right, let's just go from the top. From the top, you remove a lot of my unused variables. Well played. You add a divider and some input adornment stuff. See, this is the kind of thing this is why I would use AI for this and not do it myself, because I used to know this stuff back in the day. And it deletes these extraneous types. It adds a line item row styling thing using this styled div thing. That's cool. Per unit price in the display currency to money. Oh, it's just going to try to create like a, I see. We're using Satoshis. So. Start with one blank row to begin. Very well. Add a line item. Remove a line item. Update a line item. Subtotal, and we actually do the mapping and do the summing and everything and multiply by the quantity, etc., etc. Delete my try-catch statement. Why do you delete my try-catch statement, ChatGPT? Oh, and then it brings it down here. Okay, fine. Delete my comment. Fine. I guess you can delete the comments. I was trying to explain myself. Okay. All right. And then UI stuff. We got this divider. All right, let's just see if it works. I think that this is probably going to work. So I want line item support. Can I create an invoice that has line items? npm cd front end npm run start. Open Chrome. We delete this, we go back. Here we are, looking at this invoice thing. Create new invoice. I want, oh, whoa. All right, this is an interesting user interface. It's different now. So for my potato cannon, I can see Braden here. Let's see. 4-inch ABS. And let's say the quantity is 18 inches of 4-inch ABS. Okay, a little bit odd entering that. And the price is 100 Satoshis per inch. Because that's for the barrel. Or sorry, that's for the chamber, right? So that's going to cost $1,800. No, it's Satoshis. Okay, add a new line item. Okay, a little bit interesting. And then we could say 2-inch ABS, and we could say we want a 48-inch barrel, and that's only 60 Satoshis because it is, that's a really expensive potato cannon. That's dollars. Right. And then I want a 4-to-2 reducer, which is one of them, and it is, I think that would be like 80 Satoshis or something. I don't know. And now we have most of the things that we need. Final thing we need is an end cap. And that would be like, 150 Satoshis. All right, cool. So I can have this invoice, and I have just entered all the data for my invoice. And now it's 4,900. I'm going to say create, and what I expect is encrypt it. Yes, great. Okay, so now we have 418 bytes of encrypted data comprising the invoice, which we would send to somebody via the message box. So let's go ahead and commit this. The styling is going to be perfect at the beginning, but line item support. So we want to send the invoice after we encrypt it to the message box. So we need to make a new message box client, which we have a wallet client up here. So message box client from message box client. And what does this take? A wallet client, hopefully. Options. Oh goodness. Why do you have to have options? What are the options? Is it wallet client? Yeah. All right. I think that's going to be enough. I don't know. We'll say. Message box client. All right. Now we need to send the invoice to the person who is going to receive the invoice. Sent. Await message box client dot send message. We're gonna pick send message params. So I'm gonna guess what message box incoming invoices. I'm gonna guess that this recipient is going to be the payer, and the message content? Message. Wait, I'm calling send message with the content. Wait, with the what is this type? What am I missing? Argument of type. Here we go. Is assignable. Okay. Body. Oh. And the body of the message is equal to, is this a string? Probably it's a string. So encrypted invoice. So we need to convert the encrypted invoice back to a string. Utils to base 64. Oh, wait, let me see if it yells at me. Can I just, like, do this as... Oh, wait, that accepts a string or an object. Oh, but it's going to JSON stringify it. No, that's so bad. Yeah. Utils.toBase64 invoice. All right, now, and what does this return? It's a send message response. We sent the message, we sent the invoice, right? So it's fine. We're done. We sent our invoice to the person who needs to receive it. Now, when this page loads, and I should put this into a constant called invoice box. Invoice box goes up here somewhere. Oops. Now we're going to send to the invoice box. All right. So when a sender sends us a message to the invoice box, we want to receive it. When there is an incoming invoice, when the page loads, we need to see the invoices that we are receiving from somebody. And then we need to use the PeerPay client to pay the invoice with a message that contains the reference number of the invoice, which invoices also have a reference number, by the way. Just saying, like, I forgot small details. All right, so the date and the reference number can be added to the invoice. We can do that using a timestamp from 1970. So if we go here and say this is going to be encrypted, say like, oh wait. Oh, totals, subtotal. And we'll have taxes and everything, Let's see. Dates. Is it date.now? Milliseconds since 1970. I guess milliseconds is fine. The message ID is computed based on the invoice, and that will be the reference number. We don't need to have a reference number. Aside from that, let's just keep it very simple for now. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves, everybody. If you get ahead of yourselves, then you will lose track of where you are. Normalize the items. Okay, we sent that. Now the page loads, and we need to see our current invoices that someone sent us. So I'm going to say, like incoming invoices, loading, set incoming By default, that loads. There needs to be a type for that. That is Boolean. The invoice type will be declared based on the line items interface. Where is the line items interface or type? Goodness. TypeScript, not my first language. I learned Java first, actually, like the whole public static void main string args thing. Line items, array of line item. Date is a number. Semicolons? Really? I guess we're supposed. Yeah, true. All right. Title. What am I missing? Title, line of payer, and payee. You also got to say who you are when you want to send someone an invoice. The payee does not need to be included in the actual message, though, which we encrypt, because the sender of a message in PurePay is identified by the message box client. Sorry, sender of a message using the message box system is identified that way. But when we materialize the invoice for representation on the screen in this use effect, which depends on among other things, the metanet status. Where is that? We need to only fire this use effect once the metanet is MNC missing. Okay, MNC missing. And the loading. If both that is not, if the metanet client is not missing and the then we're no longer loading, but first we do all this stuff. All right, it's going to be a little use effect that fires to load incoming invoices when the page loads. So to do this, you're going to list messages. You got message box. So you got your messages here. And then for each. I remembered that, and I remembered that, right? See, we know what we're doing. We're responsible. Okay. Try and array of invoice type oh, webpred isn't like that. Fine. Catch e console.error. Failed to parse. And then we would say what, like message box client acknowledge the failing message to get it out of there. And you'd say m dot message ID. Okay, now we're ready to parse. So we need to create something. Let's see, decrypted invoice is wallet client, and we want to decrypt the protocol ID is just protocol ID. The key ID, oh, and we needed to include the key ID with the invoice at the beginning because of the fact that we randomly generated it. So to do that, let's include encrypted with key ID equals a writer, and we're going to write the length of the key ID. Key ID is in base 64. Yeah, it is. Oh wait, but we know it's 16 bytes. So we'll write 16 bytes. And then we'll write the invoice. So this is going to be an array of numbers. And this is what gets sent as the message body. So 16 bytes of the key ID plus the actual invoice. Right. And then to read, we'll make a new reader, a utils.reader. m.body. Wait, oh, it's going to be a string. We need to go utils to array from base 64 to read. And then, of course, up here when we go to base 64. Okay. So we read the key ID. To base 64. We read 16 bytes. That's the key ID. and then we read the rest for the actual invoice. There's our key ID. Our counterparty is going to be the sender of the message, and the ciphertext that we're going to decrypt is going to be the encrypted invoice. And then this should be an array of numbers. And we're going to parse the UTF-8 version of the decrypted invoice. Oh, we have to, of course, await the promise. Right. In effect, we decrypt. Yeah. Dot ciphertext. Dot plain text, rather. Okay. So now we have a parsed thing, and we can say, dot parsed, and the payer, or no, the payee, the person we're going to pay, is the sender of this message, and that is an invoice. All right. Theoretically, I should be able to create an invoice for myself, refresh the page, and then see this load. And if I want to go and load the user interface, say something like, see. See, incoming invoices loading. If that's true, then we just say linear progress. Otherwise, we say incoming invoices dot map x arrow parenthesis, say x and I, because we need div. I don't know how to code in React anymore, but I think it'll be okay. Wait. Incoming invoices. Oh, colon. And then it has to be in brackets because it's an expression. Wait. Wait. Oh, it's already. Oh, I see. Okay. Incoming invoices is an array. Oh, I see. So the type of the state variable is incorrect because this is not. It is an array of invoices, number one, and number two, down here, we need to set the thing to be equal to the thing that we just computed. Otherwise, it will not be a thing. So catch this, and then we're down here, and we're going to say set incoming invoices equal to that. Otherwise, it would never load. And then we're going to map this as we already were talking about. So div, where am I? Yeah. So map x and I, say div, what key? Oh wait, is it return? No. That's implicit return. And then we have to do an object. This is why I don't remember. This is why I incoming invoices an array of invoices, and then I can map that. Dot map on an array. Cannot remember these things. It's too. Let's see. I think we need to do this, because otherwise it's going to be tricky. And then we want to this is a function. Looks better. Okay, I think that's better. Yeah, that should be a string. So I should see the title. So X is an invoice. And I is a number because we're mapping. Why does it think that there's a comma expected? Oh, because of that. Still shouldn't matter though. Well, I can just do this. Say so this code is currently needing some help. So then we have to wait for the AI overlords. Oh wait, why is it using this connectors? I don't need it to go in my Google Drive and read. Okay, I should be able to do this just intuitively. Like, there's no reason why it has to think that long to do this. Okay. So it's like all the parentheses stuff. Nobody knows how to code anymore. Only AIs know how to code. Created an encrypted invoice. Oh, my code is dead. Oh yeah, I guess it helps if you launch your Vite before you try to do stuff. Okay. Now it's going to tell me what's wrong. Yeah, it's going to say you can't do the little, that's a typo. In the parser. Oh, I see. I see. That's probably why a whole bunch of stuff was wrong. Because is it going to do it? It's loading. Okay. Give you access to my message box. Loading all my invoices. It's just list messages. Come on. Oh, it crashed. Crashed because incoming invoices is not defined. Incoming invoices. I thought that was definitely defined. In the app component at localhost appts 93. 93. There is no line 93. Oh, I see. And then we wait for the message. Okay, it loaded. There's no invoices. All right, create an invoice. Test. Search for my identity. I'm not going to pay that invoice, but oh wait, if I create it, then it's going to be there forever. I should create something a little bit better. Let's do the potato cannon again. Okay. And I'm just going to say one. I'm going to say just the whole thing. Let's say I want 2 potato cannons, and each of them cost 85 satoshis. Now it's going to send a message to the message box containing all of the invoice data. Has to anoint a message box host, all that really annoying stuff. But then it's resilient in case different message box hosts exist and people want to use a different one. And then the invoice message can be sent from one party to another, or in this case, from one party to myself, just for testing. It's doing all this stuff that's exceedingly slow. And this is too slow. What the heck is going on? The developer experience of this. Okay, access to fetch at backend. Why is it doing all this stuff? Message box client was really cool. It was really simple. And then, we need to make it resilient to different things. So there's all this stuff that goes on in the background now to like sync up all your anointed hosts and everything to make sure that you're going to be receiving the message no matter which host you use, which is nice, except it gets in the way when you're trying to use it. So we're trying to submit an overlay token to a bunch of places, and some of them will never respond because they're old URLs or URLs that are offline. I bet you this is like 502 or something. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. So anyways, this is like in the weeds of the message box client stuff. I'm going to try to disable all of that if I can. I don't know exactly how, but when I make the new message box client, I think I should be able to say like, just please work. Override something or other, because it's a little out of hand otherwise. Host message box Babbage systems. Maybe now it will work. I don't know. See if it's faster. Too slow. Way too slow. Why is it doing lookups? I gave it a host. What other options do I have here? So the base URL of the message box server, if omitted, it defaults to mainnet testnet hosts. I gave it, I gave it a message box host, and it still wants to do lookups and take a very long time and be exceedingly annoying. Oh wait, did it load? I don't know. Yeah, this is just, there needs to be some type of, I think the issue is actually on the overlay. Okay, that seems to have worked, but yeah, we need to make that much better. Send a message. Did it send? I think it did encrypt. Send message. Okay, I think it sent the message to the message box. So now if I reload this page, I should see an incoming invoice, right? And just think of the dial-up modem sounds. It's waiting for the message box to do something. I don't know exactly what. I told it which host I wanted to use. What does list messages have its own? Or is there something else going on here? Maybe there was an error. Okay, uncaught in promise. Reference error E. E is not defined on 244. All right, let's think. 244. E is, oh my lord. How is that even working? Oh, okay. That is strange. Catch E. Can we still write code? I don't know. Okay, now we have to wait, and we'll see if when it receives a message, if it parses it and decrypts. All right. We can see the invoice. It decrypted it. There we go. Now we just need the option to pay any invoices. So let me commit this as the first little step in our invoicing app. And then we'll be able to write a BSV invoice and pay it. Send and receive invoices. So now I'm going to write a function which takes an invoice index and given the index of that invoice, pays it. So to pay an invoice, we need the peer pay client in addition to the message box client, because now we're going to pay one of our peers. And if you want to pay one of your peers, then the way you do that is you use peer pay. So where is my message box client? Okay. Peer pay client equals new peer pay client, and that's coming from the message box client as well. What does this need? Argument of type config. Oh, it needs a config. Must provide a config. Very well. I'm going to guess wallet client, and I'm going to hope that host, and I'm going to hope that when I provide a host, that it will. No? What? Well, then how do you? How do you? Okay. Well, I'll just assume it's going to work. Pure pay client. I want to pay one of my peers. I have an invoice. I want to pay my invoice. How do I do it? Well, right now I have peer pay client dot send payment, and you got a recipient, which is going to be the invoice.payee. You got an amount. It's going to be the invoice.totals. Invoice.totals.total, not subtotal. Oh, wait. It's going to be totals, and total and subtotal are going to be here. So I'm going to add this in to the string. Sub or total. For now, invoice.totals.total will be the total of the entire invoice. The totals subtotal okay. So when we want to pay somebody, and then we just, and then the invoice also has a message, an ID, right? And the ID is equal to the message box ID, or the message ID. Right, and then when we parse it out, we need to like grab this. So we decrypt these things. Decrypt these things. And the ID of the invoice is equal to the m dot message ID. Okay. So you pull those two things out of there when you do that. And then down at the bottom, when we're doing the payment, that's when we acknowledge the message. With the same ID as the message box, as that, right? So you send the payment, and then you say, hey, I paid my invoice. So pay invoice. It pays the invoice using peer pay client Hmm. Is there a way to send someone like a data with their payment when you do this, or is that not part of this? Here's the thing about here's the thing about PeerPay. I think it tries to solve every problem, and doesn't like to, you know, yeah, we should not use PeerPay actually. Or no, PeerPay is trying to solve too many problems. We need to make our own payments thing because you can't send the payment to a particular message box. Or if you can, and then you also can't send like data with the payment, and you can't put another output that has the invoice ID or something like that, right? We want the ability to, let's go back to our blueprint. We want the ability to create an invoice, send it to the peer, receive, review, pay, putting the hash in the transaction. And that way we know what we paid for and it's on chain in case we need to prove it later. Receive payment notification, accept payment, issue receipt, receive receipt, download PDF. All of these things need to happen. But invoice.totals.total. Okay, that's fine. But like PeerPay, it makes it too uh, straightforward, and it doesn't do the hash in the transaction. It doesn't do what we need. We're going to implement BRC29 ourselves in order to make that work properly. Before we do that, let me see what we're getting to on the stream. Check on the audience, all of that stuff. All right, looks like we got a few things. Let me put this down, and then we can check in with the stream and everything. Okay, got the link here. John Calhoun, good to see you. I've used Codex CLI. I haven't used Claude Code, but it's there's different ones out there. I'll have to familiarize myself at some point with uh, some of those things. Where do you learn to create and modify a database on the blockchain? So databases are a way to store and retrieve information and organize that information. The blockchain is a way to model and represent items of value, aka tokens, using UTXOs in a scalable and parallelizable way, validate the ordering in which they exist, and define the constraints under which they can be used. A database can do more than a blockchain in some ways. It can do less than a blockchain in other ways. They are different tools, but you can create a blockchain-based representation of some data. And the tool for that is going to be called Overlay Services. So you can check it out if you want. Overlay Services allow you to define rules and capture the way that people create tokens on the blockchain, and then use create data models that are based on that. And yeah, some really cool stuff. You can ask BitGenius about overlay services, and if you go to bitgenius.net, you can basically ask all the ways that database stuff can be mapped over to overlay services. You can also post specific questions about your use case, or we can chat privately about what you're trying to do, so that the blockchain can be the best aid for you if that's what you are, uh, wanting to do. Uh, and thank you very much. Good to be back live and doing some of these things. Happy to be trying to show people some of these capabilities and how we can use them. All right, let's think. We want to go back to the invoicing stuff and think about different ways that we can create um, create payments and then receive those payments. Um, Before we throw out Pure Pay entirely, I want to look at its code because adding an on-chain note or on-chain, thing to Pure Pay is probably a useful thing. That way, when you write an invoice, you can, or when you pay an invoice, you can make record of it. This is tricky because, yeah, we need, right, Pure Pay client config. You can give a message box host, wallet client, and then just originator and stuff. You can only pay with a recipient and an amount. There's no off-chain messaging. You can't send an off-chain note with your payment message, and you also can't put data in your payment on-chain, like in the transaction in another output or something. You have to uh, sort of roll your own Pure Pay if you want to do those things. Pretty sure. So my options are add off-chain notes and or on-chain, uh, you know, IDs and things to PeerPay and make a pull request against the BSV message box client repository where PeerPay client lives, or we can build our own. I like PeerPay because it does a lot of the low-level stuff for you, so you don't have to understand BRC29 and all of those details, right? Because like creating a payment token is, you have to do the um, key derivation with BRC29. You have to like actually create the script and then send the, it does a lot, right? My point is like PeerPay client does a lot. It's a couple of 400 lines of code, and I don't really want to forego it. I also don't want to make it into something it's not, and I don't necessarily know if this is a wide enough scoped thing that we should try to make PeerPay solve all problems in this context. Like, is off-chain messaging alongside a payment, or is data alongside a payment that goes on chain in another output? Is that like a big enough use case that it should be put into PeerPay, or is that something where we really do want a custom functionality? Let me know what you guys think, because I think that we're going to need to think about there's going to need to be a bigger discussion about that before we proceed any further. Given you know given like it's pretty common, I would say, to have the option to include data with a payment. But that discussion should happen like not on a live stream. It should be something that we discuss probably on GitHub issues with the message box client repository. So let me open an issue. I think we'll end the live stream here. Let me know in chat if you have any thoughts, and we can certainly hear what people think there. But I think that the discussion about this to involve as many people as we probably should needs to happen on GitHub, and therefore we'll go ahead with that. And then next live stream, we will either finish implementing the the new version of PeerPay that can do the stuff that we need for invoicing and things like that, or we will copy PeerPay and make our own version that can be more flexible and whatnot. So looking forward to that, and seeing what the future of invoices, receipts, and payments is going to be on BSV. So with that, let me go right here, and then see. And thank you very much for sharing the live stream. Certainly, we will do another one in the future to finish up this application and resolve and let everybody know what we have decided when it comes to the future of PeerPay, whether that will include on-chain and off-chain data carrier capabilities alongside simple payments and whatnot. I don't expect the people watching here to to be able to fully obviously discuss and resolve that type of an issue in real time. So yeah, best forum for that is going to be GitHub. I think we'll leave it there, and we'll continue developing the invoicing and receipting application. The idea is we'll have this proof of concept completed prior to the October 10th and 11th hackathon that's happening in Medford, Oregon. If you want to attend the BSV hackathon, you should go to bsvhackathon.com, where you can watch this little eagle fly across the screen. And you can also learn a lot more about this event. You can register if you're a developer. You can shoot us a message if you're interested in discussing sponsorship or other things like that. And certainly get involved in other events like it going forward as well. And if you'd like to get on the MetaNet and you're not a MetaNet user yet, you can go to getmetanet.com, and that's where you can get on the MetaNet, whether you're on your computer or your phone. And after you're on the MetaNet, if you want to check out some cool MetaNet apps, of course, as you guys already know, you can go to metanetapps.com and check out the future of MetaNet apps. And with that, in fact, John Calhoun was on here, and he built some really cool MetaNet apps that are already on metanetapps.com. So thank you guys for tuning in today as we have gotten started on developing a new invoicing and receipting application on BSV. And I look forward to picking up where we left off next time, giving an update about the best way to do data carrier alongside transactions on and off chain, and then going from there, moving forward with implementation. Then we'll get that demo figured out before the hackathon so that everybody can participate, and so that people can make this even better for mobile users, right? Because I think the future of the MetaNet is mobile, and we'll need to get some nice use cases together for that. Anyways, thank you very much for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.